No. What's your last name?
Oh, Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Baron.
Ava Baron Combs? Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you.
So, I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play with his kids.
Something is seriously wrong. During a shocking courtroom hearing, actor Terrence Howard dropped a bombshell that left everyone stunned. Not about drugs or trafficking or the wild freak-off parties allegedly tied to Diddy, but something even more disturbing. He asked one chilling question. What happened to Diddy's adopted daughter, Ava Baron Combs? That name hit like a punch, because suddenly people realized something terrifying.
Hey, did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
No one has seen or heard from Ava in years. She vanished from the spotlight just as quickly as she entered it. Was her adoption just a PR stunt? Is she missing? Or is there something much darker going on behind the scenes? The internet wants answers, and so do we. Let's rewind to 2020. The world was on lockdown. Everyone was baking banana bread and trying not to lose their minds. That's when Diddy, ever the showman, went live on Instagram. He introduced us to a young girl named Ava Baron Combs, someone he said was his newly adopted daughter.
Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you.
The moment felt warm, even hopeful. Diddy, already a father of 6, appeared to be opening his heart and home to a young girl in need. But then, silence. Months passed. Ava wasn't seen in any more live streams, no red carpets, no family photos, no birthday shoutouts, nothing. In a family known for their over-the-top posts and presents, Ava's complete disappearance from the public eye started to feel off. People started asking, where is Ava? Why hasn't she been seen in years? What started as curiosity has now snowballed into a full-blown mystery, and possibly something far darker. Back in that courtroom, Terrence Howard didn't mince words. His testimony wasn't vague, and it wasn't safe. He hinted, implored investigators to look into Ava's case specifically. He said her story wasn't just sad, it was a part of a disturbing pattern. And it wasn't just about neglect. Howard's tone, his body language, the way he paused and looked the judge dead in the eye, it all pointed to one thing. He knew something. Something most people didn't.
And if you're going to speak against me, then use the same courage that it took for me to say those truths. Man to man, eye to eye, integrity and in truth. I've spent a lifetime earning the right to speak with the conviction about these truths that I speak. I'm going to do it.
And when a veteran Hollywood actor steps into a federal court and risks everything to bring attention to a missing adopted daughter of one of the most powerful men in entertainment, you have to ask, what in the world is going on? The plot thickens when you bring in Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard and a man who's been unafraid to speak his truth. In a bombshell interview, Deal claimed that the adoption of Ava was nothing more than a PR move. Let that sink in. According to him, Ava wasn't brought into the Combs family out of love, but to clean up Diddy's image during a time when his name was being whispered in all the wrong circles. And once the press had moved on, so had Diddy. Gene's voice cracked as he described how Ava was essentially cast aside, left out of events, and slowly erased from the family narrative.
Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands-off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back.
If true, this wasn't just neglect. It was emotional and psychological abandonment on a massive scale. And now we're left with an even scarier thought. Was Ava ever really safe to begin with? If you think this story is already dark, buckle up, because things go even deeper. Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend and longtime artist, filed a lawsuit in 2023 that sent shockwaves through the industry. In it, she detailed years of control, coercion, and what she described as freak-offs, events Diddy allegedly orchestrated where Cassie was forced to participate in disturbing acts for his pleasure. The lawsuit was graphic, painful, unforgiving, and though the case was settled, Cassie later claimed she'd give back every penny of the $20 million payout if it meant those events could be erased from her memory. That's how damaging they were. So, when you hear these claims, and then remember Ava, a minor who disappeared from public view after being adopted by the same man, you can't help but draw connections. Could Ava have been another silent victim in a much larger pattern of control and abuse? In one of the more bizarre moments from the past, Diddy compared his adoption of Ava to what Madonna had done, bringing African children into her home and her brand. But unlike Madonna, whose every move with her adopted children has been documented by paparazzi and media, Diddy's involvement with Ava became a vanishing act. He used her presence for image rehab during a pandemic, only to let her disappear into the background once the cameras stopped rolling. That comparison now feels like a smoke signal, an admission that Ava was part of a branding effort rather than a family story. And in retrospect, it sends a chill down your spine. As if things weren't explosive enough, rapper and media mogul 50 Cent entered the chat, literally. He's been relentless in posting about Diddy's alleged wrongdoings. But what really got everyone's attention? His cryptic posts hinting at unreleased footage, including videos that could potentially expose what really went on behind closed doors. Rumors swirl that some of this footage might even relate to Ava. If that's true, and if this footage exists, it could not only blow open Diddy's empire, but finally provide answers about Ava's fate. 50 Cent has already said the footage is sickening, and he's threatening to make it public. The world is waiting and watching. As of today, Ava Baron Combs remains a ghost in the media. No one knows where she is, no public updates, no birthday posts, not a single comment from Diddy's team acknowledging the growing concern. For a man who once paraded her on Instagram as his daughter, his silence is deafening. And fans, journalists, and former insiders are starting to fear the worst. Was Ava exploited for a publicity stunt? Was she quietly removed from the picture to protect something bigger? Or is there a deeper, darker truth that hasn't come out yet? The more you dig, the more this story feels less like a celebrity scandal and more like a true crime thriller waiting to explode. One thing's for sure, the world hasn't forgotten about Ava, and the pressure is only building. What happened to Ava Baron Combs? Was she just a forgotten footnote in a celebrity's PR campaign? Or is she the key to unraveling a much bigger and far more terrifying story? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you believe Ava deserves answers, hit that like button and share this video. The more eyes on this story, the closer we might get to the truth. Subscribe for ongoing updates on this case and others like it, because justice doesn't happen in silence.